Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 6. Little heads up at the beginning of this video, I feel very slightly under the weather and I've had a bit of a croaky throat this morning. I feel like something might be coming on and it seems to get a teeny bit worse every day. I don't know, just letting you know if something sounds strange, hey, it's not you. So this episode we will be working on the tag building and we're going to work in it in the next episode as well, and then I think we're going to be done with the project and the game is going to continue. So got to look forward to that, but right now we're focusing on this project again, and of course we had a recent expansion and that has caused all of our furnaces to turn off. Oh no, it's actually good news because all of them have filled all the way up. That is an incredible amount of kelp right there, unbelievable stuff. Now, thanks to our expansion, it means that 32 of these furnaces run at once, and I want all 35 running all the time. So that means today we're going to put the finishing touches on the farm, increase the efficiency, and decorate the interior of this room as well, which I wanted to do for a while. Before we get to any of that, I got a tip for you, okay? So at the back here, you'll see that there is loads of dried kelp blocks, and that's because I forgot to optimize this side over here to put in some stone shovels, which means we don't have loads of dried kelp inside of the system doing nothing, right? The stone shovels can't be used as fuel, so they take up the slots, but something they do that's quite important is that they are a full stack as an individual item. They can't be stacked up. So I wanted to share a tip with you because there is something that hoppers do that can impact the performance of a server. If you have a bunch of hoppers pointing into chests and the chests are not full up, so that is not a full up chest, and this hopper right here will continuously search in that chest for a place for this rotted flesh to go. That is some bad news right there. Well, maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but one of the things that have become very common on servers are fishing farms like this with lots of hoppers pointing into the chests. And this is very easily going to fill up a chest with items that aren't full stacks, and then you'll have stuff in the back hoppers pointing into it, and that means that this hopper is continuously checking into the chest. Lots of those can potentially cause a little bit of lag. So if you're on a server, what I recommend doing is either flushing out your hoppers frequently or just powering them with redstone once they're full up so they're locked and they're not continuously looking into the chest in front of them. So I hope that information can just make servers everywhere a little bit more friendly if we're considerate with how we use these chests, because they're not terribly optimized. Anyway, we're going to go into statistics next. And if you'd like to guess, just quickly think of a number. It should be a high number because, bam, look at that. We have crafted over 100,000 dried kelp blocks now. That is absolutely bonkers. So recently, I was nosing around with my camera account and I noticed something that was very important for the efficiency of this farm. I had been AFKing up there at the fishing farm and we hadn't actually been growing all of the kelp inside of our tank, even though we were loading all of it. So let me explain. There is a marker over here with sand and I've got the chunk borders on because beyond this chunk right here where the sand is, the kelp doesn't grow when I'm standing up there at that AFK spot. So what I think is happening is that although there is a render distance for how much gets loaded, there's also a distance for where the kelp will receive random updates and continue to grow. So in order for me to get the efficiency up to 32 furnaces at once, I actually AFK'd inside of this chunk deep underground, and that loaded enough in that direction and this direction for all of the kelp to continue growing. So what does that mean? It means we need a new AFK spot to make sure that all of the kelp inside of our farm can grow at once. And some of you may have spotted it a second ago. Most of you are probably spotting it now. Some of the kelp here is a different colour, and that is thanks to a resource pack that I managed to put together. You can actually take the block state of a block and then give it a different texture. Now these kelps have block states, so if we look on the right hand side, the age is part of that block state, and this one right here has an age of 25, which means that it's never actually going to grow taller than that, and so these ones right here are culprits for reducing the efficiency of the farm, right, because that's never going to yield any more kelp. So if I put one on top of it and then break it, you'll see that that one now has a new number, and basically I want to go through here and find them at this level and break and replace, and then find them where they're lower down and they've stopped growing as well and place new ones on top of them. That has usually been rather tedious. You have to have the F3 screen open and you've got to be very observant where you're going. But with this resource pack, you can make your life much easier and just have them automatically highlighted for you. So now I'm going to be able to go around, do all of this, and maintain our farm and increase that efficiency. So a big shout out to Mr. ILoveCats who suggested the kelp idea during a live stream. I think I've gone through there and done every single piece, meaning this thing runs at maximum efficiency. And you'll notice I've ripped out the slabs on the side here. This thing works so much better if you have slime blocks coming all the way to the end. None of the kelp ends up on top of these blocks. All of the kelp gets sent to either end, let's say, because over at this end I've also worked on a collection system. Unfortunately, the redstone we got over the back here is in the way, so I need to rebuild this. I need to get this thing out of the way and raise this up so that the kelp can go all the way through and fall into this collection area. So on this side the redstone is too low down and it actually catches the kelp instead of letting it go through, and any blocks that are going to be in the way at that level there will disrupt the water flow on the other side. So we've really got to redo all of this. So here it is, taken care of from side to side. The redstone has been raised, all the wires are working, and now the kelp can be pushed up against the glass here when the machine is coming back. Perfect timing, it's doing it right now, and then it's going to flow into the area down below. So some of the kelp gets left behind, and some of it is from where the machine makes its way back, and the kelp is still growing. So we get a load of it down at this end, and now it will get flushed all the way down there, and that's where we need to build an ice tunnel. So I've got the water streams on either side leading to this central point, and down the bottom here, now all we need to do really is just have a long ice tunnel. And I've already dug that out, but we run into some underwater ravines and underwater caves, which are going to make things tricky, but it's a very simple concept here. We've just dug out enough space to walk alongside, have the water streams going one block below us, and then we just use the ice and the pressure plate to separate each of the streams. Thank goodness we got these sponges. This is actually not going to be too much of a problem at all. So the tunnel is done, and at the other end we've got soul sand in place to send the items upwards. In 1.13.1 you can't place the kelp in flowing water anymore, which sucks. So what I'm going to have to do is turn these into source blocks, and I figured the fastest way is probably to use the last of my ice to fill up this space and then dig it all out again from the top downwards, and that'll create lots of source blocks. And now I'm trapped inside of my own creation. Of course I am. I can open this though, right? Woo! There we go, I'm free. So with a few extra panels and some dark oak blocks, we can say that that is finished, but then I'm reminded of the temporary grass blocks over here. At some point during a live stream I will tidy that up and make it look nice and interesting, but for today we're done, and that is the kelp farm tank project pretty much finished. This thing is now running at maximum efficiency and I love it. And now it's time for some tag, and boy oh boy do I love this gorgeous building. I've spent way too much time on the inside not looking at it. In fact, that's going to be the experience of this building, isn't it? It's going to be, oh wow, and then bam, you're on the inside doing stuff in here. So we're walking through all of this again just to remind you how cool this beginning bit looks. This room right here is going to need something in it, so if you have any ideas, go to the comments down below. I think we need some decorations, things related to tag in here as well. But then we go up to where I started building a little bit of the redstone shenanigans. There are pressure plates which are eventually going to activate potions and messages and other things as well. And so I've extended this now. I believe this part over here you haven't seen. I've also been messing around with leaving some light sources in just to kind of make it not too dark in here. So you step on this pressure plate, it'll activate that. There's a couple other hidden under this path so you can get some more messages, and then you have to walk over 2 more of them as you make your way up to the top here. And then we go into the next room, and I've actually conditioned this. I've filled in all of the gaps around the outsides, extended the walls downwards, and what we're going to do is have a circular parkour track that goes up and around this column in the middle. And so my friends, here it is. I've tried to create something that's kind of easy with one misleading little bit. So let's go ahead and do the first jump. We've made it onto these iron bars, another simple jump over there, and somehow I managed to mess that up. So there's the next bit, but we got to look up. There is cobblestone wall here, so it's a little bit awkward, but aha, when we land here, it retracts this block. Now, based on your latency to the server, this next bit might actually be really tricky. So if the hermits are having trouble, I would recommend that they put a block kind of in front, so they can land right in front of this bit. Then you've got to sort of jump up and around the corner, and then you might think you've got to jump through this gap, but actually you want to drop down onto the piston and then go across and go across again. And then this is the misleading bit. You might think you can jump onto that one over there, and if it were a normal level block and not a wall, which is like 1.5, then you would be able to make that. So you've actually got to turn around, jump over here, and then jump on top of what looked like obstacles beforehand. So I'm probably going to mess this up, yeah. Actually had a compressed ice block right here, so I could never have made that jump because there was a block directly above my head. Then we're going around this corner, and we've got to make it over to one of those obstacles from earlier. And then things start to get a little bit easier here. This was the one that I tried to lure you to with that ice block. And then a simple jump here, another one there. This one used to be ice in that corner, so that means this is now even easier. But we're jumping straight towards an iron bar, and you have to hold down shift to land on those. So hop up over to this one. Yes, this is where it gets kind of easy now. And your nerves are probably going to mess you up more than anything. Now with that block there, we've got to really just, you know, go straight forward and hold down shift as we fall down. And we drop down to this one, and the last few bits here are easy, yet somehow I've managed to mess it up. So from here to there, and then onto the ladder, and you're up into the attic. I don't know if I had mentioned it yet, but I'd set up a beacon in this area and moved it over to here. So we don't have one back at the kelp farm, but I didn't really know where to put this, and so often is the case that you throw it down somewhere and then you're going to potentially have to move it. This is also placed low enough down so that I could mine at bedrock in case I wanted to go mining for diamonds and do it the speedy way. It's always a good idea to place beacons like that, but it's not really related to what we're doing now. We're back in the attic, and there'll be a sign here telling the hermits to take a leap of faith, so to speak, and drop down here. I didn't place any water at the bottom yet, so what I want to do is fall down, tap spacebar, look forward, and the elytra rings will bring us gracefully down to the floor. So the beacon is now behind us, somewhere in that direction, but the real problem is that this tunnel goes off a long way in that way, and what I need to do is actually dig this out. So we've got the instant mine for that, which is super helpful, but down the bottom here is where the most interesting stuff is going to happen. This is where we're going to have the punishment room, the twist room, and the rules chamber, which will then be followed by the hall of tag. So each round of the game will be unique because there will be a randomized punishment for the hermit who is tagged. There will be a twist for each round, some sort of change to the game that's unique to that round. Then there will be the rules, which should help make it a lot easier for you guys, the viewers, to follow what's going on, as the rules will relate to, you know, when to publish videos and not to get carried away with the game before videos have gone out, stuff like that. And then last of all, there's going to be like a hall of hermits to see who's been tagged in what order, and that's what the bit I'm digging right now is, as it goes a long ways in that direction. So eventually it comes out over here, and this will be like a one-way exit, so you can't go back in. You have to be tagged to go through all of this crazy ritual. And there is the tag building just over there with a beacon next to it. Behind me is Full Symmetry's wonderful build, and then we have Python's Power Ranger beacons in the middle of the aquatic district, just to give you some bearing on where we are. So that's all I'm going to be doing on this project for today. Well, actually right now I'm going to come over here and do a bit more digging, but it's all in preparation for the next episode, which should be the last one where I'm doing all of the tag stuff, and after that the game will be able to start again. So we're over at Cub and Iscal's Guardian farm now. You know, want to repair the tools. They're not in dire need, but it's good to keep them maintained. And it seems that my NHO beacon pass is redundant now, as this has been punked right here. It no longer works. There is a green holding a pufferfish, and I was considering asking for a refund since there's no beacon here anymore. But over on the other side there's an even cheaper service. Check this out. For 10 diamonds you can get a VIP room pass. I'm gonna buy one. How does this work? Probably same system, right? I throw it on the ground. Yep, there we go, and in here there's enchanting stations, anvils, free lapis, and a whole bunch of beacons as well. Vex-like resistance, strength of 1000 Vex, yeah sure, convexical regeneration. I'm going to take all of these. I don't actually have any feathers anywhere in my ender chest, so I can't make a book and quill, So I guess this will have to do for now. Let's see if we can get a refund from Doc M. Don't tell anyone, but this book was actually free. Grian gave it to me, but hey, it's still worth 16 diamonds. Since we're on the way back, we can hit up the mail shop as well. It's a beautiful build. I love this one. Hey, and I've got mail. Cool. What have we got here? Some diamonds. Nice. Flower shop profits. Awesome. Aha, those are from last time. I left the paper in. And then we've got a cookie. Hi, Gemmin Sweet Treats. And there's now a squid shop in town. Excellent. That's good to know. Also, was this guy here before? I don't seem to remember him. Anyway, funny looking fella. So as you probably know, our plans are to work on this room in front of us and on this area in general. You know, I haven't done too much in here in a while, and I did plan on building some skyscrapers, and we'll get to that eventually. You know, I got big plans. I've always got big plans. But anyway, in here, this room needs a little bit of decoration, and I think what we should do is ditch these andesite blocks and go with the dried kelp. I placed them down as the entrance, and I really, really like that. And now what we're going to do is extend this into this room here. And almost straight away, something good is coming together. Put these kelp blocks here, put those cyan blocks there, and they look nice. Started to think about what materials look good with these, and these birch textures do. However, I might move this up and put it on either the ceiling or on the main floor, because those are some places where we need another texture to match. I'm also thinking about light sources as well. Maybe over on the edge here we can have some sea lanterns stacked up, and they could go in that corner over there as well. But then we'll probably end up with some scattered on the floor. So I think the best place for the light sources to go is just tucked underneath these chests, because they can go through the chests and then they'll illuminate the floor without being too visible. There's a creeper up there. So I would say that this side here is looking mighty fine. Decided to keep the birch where it was because I realised the path would look good just extending into this space. The sea lanterns popping out look great. And the only thing that's a little bit iffy is perhaps the ceiling being very flat and kind of plain. So I figured maybe some spruce stalls kind of chucked in like a grid in certain places might look good. Because then it kind of matches the outside. But it needs to be built up a little bit more before we'll actually know if it looks any good. And that initially, I think kind of looks okay. When I first envisioned this project, I thought that there would be double the amount of furnaces here, that we would have a second floor down below doing the same thing all over again. But now that we've reached the limit of this tank that we've built over here, I think we're going to leave it as a single floor operation. And so I've had this idea stuck in my mind of having a water elevator in the middle of the room. So I was thinking, well, we could do this with glass panes perhaps, and just have some soul sand to push the water upwards. But here's the thing, if I right click on the glass panes with the water bucket, it's not going to put it in front of it, it's actually going to put it inside of the block, and then it will waterlog, go everywhere, go over this stuff and turn it into concrete, which we don't want. I also think that is going to look a little bit on the silly side going straight up to the top there. So I started to think about other places we could put this, and maybe in these corners. However, I'm really fond of the sea lanterns. So how about those ones at either side that you don't really see when you walk in? Well, it just so happens that in each of the corners there is too much of this stuff going up on top to make it possible. So we will have to go the middle. And after thinking about it, it's pretty straightforward actually. If we go downwards like this and just place the water each time onto the block below us, then we can make this water stream. And there are the bubbles. And it does indeed look kind of silly, but you can just walk in and whoosh up to the next floor. I am always amused by the amount of shulker boxes you can go through in a project. I mean, I've opened up all of these just for this little room right here. And as we go up, what I'm going to do, by the way, is stand in the corner, and then I'm going to whoosh across so that we can come out into this little room here. So now we've got like a maintenance area. And we can come over here to stock up this chest for the dry kelp to go down into the system. And one of the things that we'll eventually do is hook it up with some redstone to something inside of the skyscraper. So that we will build on top of this area will actually have some purpose. And I was thinking for a challenge, what we could do is make the skyscraper using the dried kelp block itself, which would just make a ton of sense. That is a project for another day though. We've got a couple more things to do on this server, and one of them involves some prankage. I've been hearing some rumours that Turtle Tech Headquarters has been pranked or something. Some shenanigans are going on and we need to investigate. This is a real short journey. Short journey considering rockets and all that. I don't actually see anything yet. We seem to be... Okay, there are signs. There is water and glass. No! No! It's been turned into an aquarium. Oh, goodness me. This is payback for Season 2. Cleo, even though I don't think Cleo has anything to do with this. Welcome to Asuma's Turtle Aquarium. Oh my goodness me. This was proudly built by iJevin for the injustice done to all the turtle kind. All proceeds go to iJevin directly. X, hope you learned your lesson. I hope my turtles are okay. Oh yeah, they can swim in water. They can swim in water just fine. Oh man, there's even like a proper entrance there. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, look at the turtles. I love it. This was supposed to be a prank. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Oh, I've got a turtle aquarium. Oh my goodness me, that's amazing. Is there anything else up here? I love it. Oh, I actually might just keep this as an aquarium. Oh, I can't believe how amazing all of these turtles look. Oh, that has filled my heart with joy. Oh, it goes down here as well. No way. Oh, he's sealed off the redstone. Good man. Cheers. Cheers, Jevin. This is beautiful. I love this. What do you guys think? I think we should keep it this way. Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely beautiful. My friends, it's time to take off the armour. Turtle Man has returned. I'm feeling in a great mood after seeing all of my turtle brethren swimming around looking very happy. They've been freed from the breeding machine. I admit that was kind of cruel. And my plan was to come over here anyway, but now I'm feeling extra generous. I was going to do like a flash 24-hour sale where all of these kelp blocks could be 2 stacks for a diamond, but I think I'm going to make it 3 stacks for a diamond, and I'm going to post a message in the Hermitcraft Discord as well, like do a flash sale, 24 diamonds, 24 hours only. I can't do 2 things at once. Okay, does that make sense what I've written? 1 diamond, 3 stacks. Get rid of the plural. There we go. Alright, so it's been another fun adventure here on the Hermitcraft server, and I will be back very soon with another episode where we're working on the tag building, and then the games are going to get a rolling. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.